Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. What do you believe makes a woman powerful? What does it mean to be truly empowered? Is it about strength, confidence, the ability to overcome challenges? Or is it something deeper, something that transcends the superficial and taps into the very core of who we are? Today, I want to talk about a woman whose power is not rooted in external validation or fleeting circumstances, but in a source far greater than anything this world can offer. A woman whose solitude is with God becomes a queen. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean for a woman to find her strength in solitude, in the quiet, in the moments when no one is watching? It means that her power is not reliant on the opinions of others. It means her confidence doesn't come from the compliments she receives or the approval of the people around her. It means that she is unwavering, unshakable, because her strength comes from a place that is eternal God. Imagine for a moment the impact of such a woman. Picture her walking through life with her head held high, her heart filled with peace, and her spirit unbroken no matter the storms she faces. Why? Because she knows that she is not alone. She knows that she is supported by a force greater than herself, a force that has been there through every struggle, every tear, every triumph. She knows that her identity is not determined by the world around her, but by the divine presence that dwells within her. When a woman finds her solitude with God, she taps into a limitless well of strength. This is a strength that doesn't falter in the face of adversity. It doesn't crumble under pressure. It doesn't fade with time. No, this is a power that is eternal, a power that is unwavering, a power that transforms not just her life, but the lives of everyone she encounters. But here's the thing, this kind of power isn't handed to you on a silver platter. It's earned through moments of stillness, through the dedication to strengthening the connection with your Creator. It's cultivated in the quiet places of your soul, in the moments when you are alone, when you are seeking guidance, when you are listening for that still, small voice. It's in those moments when the world is silent that you realize who you truly are. You are not defined by your circumstances, your past, or your struggles. You are defined by the God who created you, who breathed life into your lungs, who calls you by name and says, "You are mine." This connection, this relationship with God, elevates a woman from being just a participant in life to being a leader, a queen. A queen rules with wisdom, compassion, and strength. She doesn't rule out of fear or control. She rules from a place of deep understanding, from a heart that is rooted in love and in the truth of who she is. When you allow God to shape your life, to guide your decisions, to be the source of your strength, you are no longer subject to the limitations of this world. You are free. Free from fear, free from insecurity, free from doubt, free to become the woman you were always meant to be. So ladies, hear me clearly, your solitude with God is where your true power lies. It is in those sacred moments when you shut out the noise of the world, when you let go of the distractions and the chaos and simply connect with the one who created you. It is in that place of peace that you will discover the depth of your strength, the boundless nature of your potential, and the undeniable truth that you are a queen, unshakable, unstoppable, and destined for greatness. So let today be the day that you step into your power. Let today be the day that you embrace the solitude, embrace the connection, and walk forward knowing that you are not just a woman, but a queen, one whose strength is anchored in God. Empowerment is a word that is often thrown around in modern conversations about self-worth, personal development, and success. But true empowerment, the kind that lasts and can move mountains, doesn't come from external sources. It doesn't come from titles, achievements, or the validation of others. Real empowerment comes from within. And when a woman finds her power in the quiet, in the moments of solitude with God, she becomes a force that cannot be ignored. When we talk about empowerment in the context of a woman whose solitude is with God, we are not merely referring to the ability to overcome obstacles or to achieve great things. We are talking about a deep inner strength that rises from a place of peace, purpose, and divine alignment. This empowerment isn't about control or domination, nor is it about competing with others. It is about standing firm in who you are, knowing that you are valued, loved, and designed for greatness by the Creator of the universe. It is an empowerment that transcends the temporary ups and downs of life and is rooted in the eternal truth of who you are. In solitude, when a woman is alone with God, she begins to discover and reconnect with the most powerful part of herself. This solitude is not loneliness, it is sacred time where she steps away from the noise of the world to listen, to reflect, and to receive guidance. In the quiet, she can hear God's whispers, feel His presence, and understand the divine purpose she was meant to fulfill. This connection is the source of her empowerment. It strengthens her soul, fortifies her spirit, and brings clarity to her mind. Too often, women are taught to look outside of themselves for validation, to seek approval from others to feel worthy. The world may tell her that she needs to prove herself through accomplishments or be someone's partner, daughter, or friend to feel significant. But a woman whose solitude is with God knows that her worth does not depend on what others think of her. She knows her worth is defined by God alone. And this knowledge is what gives her true empowerment. When a woman connects with God in solitude, she taps into a source of wisdom that surpasses human understanding. She gains clarity, direction, and a sense of purpose that is unshakable. The validation she seeks is no longer from a boss, a spouse, or a peer group. It is found in the deep, unbreakable truth that she is a beloved daughter of the King. This realization unlocks her potential in ways she never imagined. It gives her confidence to face challenges with grace, to speak her truth boldly, and to step into leadership roles without fear of failure. Empowerment also means the courage to walk alone when necessary. A woman whose solitude is with God understands that sometimes the path to greatness requires solitude. There will be moments when the crowd isn't there to cheer you on, when your friends and family may not understand your journey. But in those moments when she feels alone, she is not truly alone. She is empowered by the presence of God. This is where she finds her strength, not from the praise or applause of the world, but from the quiet assurance that she is walking in alignment with her true purpose. Empowerment is not just about strength in moments of success, but also in moments of vulnerability. A woman who has found her power in solitude with God is empowered to embrace her imperfections, to accept her flaws, and to heal from past wounds. She knows that her value is not diminished by mistakes or failures. She is empowered to forgive herself and others, to release bitterness, and to move forward with a heart full of grace and love. In this solitude, a woman becomes more than just a survivor of her circumstances. She becomes a queen, one who rules her life with wisdom, integrity, and compassion. Her empowerment doesn't just elevate her own life, it impacts those around her. She becomes a source of inspiration, a beacon of hope, and a pillar of strength for others. When she walks into a room, her presence commands respect, not because of her title, but because of the power that comes from her deep spiritual connection with God. A woman whose solitude is with God doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. She is secure in her identity. She is empowered by the knowledge that she is a child of the King, created for greatness. And from this place of empowerment, she rises above the challenges of life and becomes the queen she was always destined to be. She steps into her purpose with confidence, grace, and unwavering strength. Solitude is often misunderstood. In a world that is constantly buzzing with noise, distractions, and the pressure to always be busy, solitude is sometimes seen as something to be avoided or feared. However, for a woman whose solitude is with God, this quiet time becomes a sacred space where transformation and empowerment occur. It is in this solitude that she begins to reconnect with herself, to find her inner strength, and to hear the voice of the Creator more clearly than ever before. In solitude, she is not alone in the way the world might perceive it. Instead, she is enveloped in the presence of God. This sacred time offers her an opportunity to step away from the demands of everyday life, to shut out the chaos, and to tune into something deeper and more meaningful. In these moments when the noise of the world fades away, she can hear the whispers of divine wisdom, guidance, and wave. This solitude allows her to be real with herself, to examine her heart, and to understand her true desires, values, and purpose. The solitude she seeks is not a form of isolation or withdrawal from the world. Rather, it is a deliberate and intentional step back to gain clarity. In this space, she isn't escaping the world, but she is drawing closer to her Creator. It is in this place of stillness that she can assess her life, reflect on the choices she has made, and seek God's direction for the future. This deep connection helps her to realign her thoughts, her heart, and her actions with the higher calling that God has placed on her life. When a woman embraces solitude with God, she is not merely spending time away from others, she is entering into communion with the divine. This sacred solitude allows her to gain insight into her own soul. In this quiet, she can shed the mask she wears in the presence of others and be completely honest about her struggles, her strengths, her doubts, and her dreams. There is no need to perform, to please, or to prove anything. It is in this raw, unfiltered space that she discovers the truth of her identity. She is beloved, chosen, and worthy. In solitude, she learns to hear God's voice more clearly. This relationship is not about speaking, but about listening. In our fast-paced world, we often forget to pause and listen for the whispers of wisdom that come when we are still. Solitude is the space where the noise of daily life is quieted enough for God to speak. These moments of connection are powerful. They provide the clarity, guidance, and reassurance she needs to move forward with confidence. Solitude also gives a woman the chance to reconnect with her inner strength. It is in these moments that she discovers the depth of her resilience. The quiet allows her to process emotions, heal from past wounds, and recognize the strength that has always been within her. It is easy to get lost in the busyness of life and forget how strong we are, But solitude with God reminds her of her inherent power. She begins to realize that the challenges she has faced and the obstacles she has overcome have been part of her divine shaping. These moments of reflection lead to empowerment as she comes to understand that her struggles have only made her stronger, more compassionate, and more equipped to fulfill her purpose. Solitude with God also teaches a woman the beauty of self-reflection and self-acceptance. In the quiet, she can reflect on her life without judgment, free from comparison to others. This is where she learns to accept herself not as the world wants her to be, but as God created her to be. This self-acceptance is a crucial part of becoming a queen. When she no longer seeks external validation, and instead learns to validate herself through God's love, she walks with an unshakable confidence. She knows who she is, and she knows who she is. This solitude, therefore, is not escape. It is a time of renewal, of strength building, and of spiritual growth. It is in these quiet moments that a woman experiences true empowerment. Solitude with God helps her to shed the expectations and pressures of the world, to hear his voice, and to align her life with her true calling. It is in this sacred space that she uncovers the wisdom, strength, and grace needed to step into the role of a queen, one who rules with love, compassion, and unwavering faith. Strength is a quality that is often sought after in women, and rightfully so. The strength to face challenges, to carry heavy burdens, and to stand firm in the face of adversity is something that the world admires. However, true strength, the kind that can withstand any storm and stand tall in any circumstance, comes from a much deeper place. It is not the kind of strength that is built through outward appearances or physical endurance. It is a strength that is sourced in the solitude of a woman's heart when she is alone with God. When a woman's solitude is with God, her strength becomes rooted in something far greater than herself. It becomes an unshakable foundation, grounded in the love and wisdom of the Creator. This strength is not dependent on external circumstances or the validation of others. It is the kind of strength that rises from the inside, from a deep understanding of who she is and who she is. It is a strength that grows as she spends time in the presence of God, aligning her heart with His will and drawing closer to the source of all power. The beauty of this strength is that it is not self-reliant. A woman whose solitude is with God understands that her strength comes not from her own abilities, but from the strength God provides. This strength empowers her to face challenges with confidence, knowing that she is not facing them alone. She knows that God is with her, guiding her and strengthening her every step of the way. This is the strength that empowers her to overcome obstacles, to rise after every fall, and to keep going even when the road ahead seems uncertain. It is a strength that does not waver in the face of trials, but instead it becomes a source of resilience that helps her bounce back stronger than before. This divine strength enables her to handle life's most difficult situations with grace and wisdom. It is in the moments of solitude that she learns to lean on God, to trust in His plan, and to know that His strength is made perfect in her weakness. She does not need to pretend that she has it all together or that she is invincible. Instead, she learns to embrace her vulnerabilities and allow God's strength to flow through her in her moments of need. This type of strength is not about being invulnerable. It is about being brave enough to acknowledge weaknesses and yet still stand firm, knowing that God's strength is more than sufficient. Moreover, the strength that comes from solitude with God is a strength that is compassionate and loving. It is not a cold, hard strength that seeks to control or dominate others. Instead, it is a strength that empowers her to love unconditionally, to forgive generously, and to serve selflessly. This strength allows her to lead with humility, to serve with kindness, and to show empathy to those who are struggling. She understands that her strength is not just for her benefit, but for the benefit of others. As she draws closer to God in solitude, she learns to embody the qualities of Christ's love, patience, gentleness, and mercy, making her not just strong, but also compassionate and wise. The strength a woman gains in solitude with God also grants her the courage to be true to herself. She no longer needs to hide behind the facades or expectations placed upon her by society. She stands confidently in her identity as a daughter of the King, fully aware of her worth and purpose. This inner strength gives her the courage to pursue her dreams, to speak her truth, and to step into leadership roles without fear of judgment or rejection. She becomes a force to be reckoned with, not because she is trying to prove herself, but because she knows that she is walking in alignment with God's plan for her life. In this way, her strength is transformational not just for herself, but for those around her. As she radiates this divine strength, others are inspired to find the same courage, the same resilience, and the same empowerment. Her strength becomes a beacon of hope, a guiding light for others who are struggling or feeling lost. This is the power of a woman whose solitude is with God. Her strength does not only serve her, but it extends out to touch and uplift others, making her a true queen, not just in name, but in her actions and influence. When a woman's strength is rooted in her relationship with God, she becomes unshakable. She becomes a force that cannot be defeated because her strength is not her own, it is God's strength working through her. This is the kind of strength that makes her a queen, one who is not swayed by the opinions of others, who remains steadfast in the face of challenges, and who leads with wisdom, grace, and compassion. Through her solitude with God, she discovers a strength that empowers her to fulfill her divine purpose and to make a lasting impact on the world around her. A queen is often thought of as someone who holds authority, commands respect, and rules over others. But the essence of true queenship goes far beyond titles, crowns, or kingdoms. A real queen is someone who exudes a sense of dignity, purpose, and grace. Her power comes not from her ability to control others, but from her deep understanding of who she is and the role she plays in God's greater plan. A woman whose solitude is with God becomes a queen, not through external circumstances, but through an internal transformation that aligns her heart, mind, and soul with the divine purpose she was created to fulfill. To understand what it means for a woman to become a queen through her solitude with God, we must first look at what it means to embrace her divine identity. A woman who has spent time in solitude with God does not define herself by the fleeting opinions of others, nor does she measure her worth by her achievements or the approval of the world. Instead, she knows that her identity is rooted in something far deeper. Her identity is defined by her relationship with the Creator. This knowledge gives her a sense of self that is unshakable, for it is not dependent on external circumstances or temporary successes. She walks in the confidence that comes from knowing she is a beloved daughter of the King, cherished and designed with purpose. This knowledge is what elevates her from simply being a woman to being a queen. In solitude with God, she experiences a transformation that redefines her relationship with herself. She learns to see herself through God's eyes, not as flawed or imperfect, but as a masterpiece, intricately designed and full of potential. In those moments of solitude, when she draws near to God, she begins to embrace the full extent of her worth. This transformation allows her to walk with grace, dignity, and poise, no matter what circumstances she faces. She becomes confident in her identity as a queen, one who was created with purpose and placed in this world to make a difference. Furthermore, a woman whose solitude is with God understands that true leadership comes from service, humility, and love. She does not seek to dominate or control, but to lead with compassion and wisdom. Like the queens of old, she understands that her influence comes not from power over others, but from the ability to serve those around her with a heart full of love. This is the kind of leadership that reflects God's heart for his people, a leadership that is not self-serving, but others-focused. Her actions, words, and choices are guided by a desire to make the world around her better, to lift others up, and to lead by example. In her solitude, God teaches her the value of patience, kindness, and wisdom. These virtues become the foundation of her leadership. She doesn't make decisions based on emotions or impulses, but draws upon the wisdom she has gained in her quiet time with God. She knows when to speak and when to listen, when to act and when to wait. This discernment, which is cultivated in the solitude of her heart, allows her to lead with precision and understanding. As a result, those who follow her are drawn to her, not because of her forceful authority, but because of the peace and wisdom she radiates. A woman whose solitude is with God also becomes a queen in her relationships. She learns to love deeply, forgive freely, and extend grace to others, just as God has done for her. Her strength lies in her ability to maintain her integrity and compassion, even in the face of conflict or difficulty. She understands that true queenship is not about perfection, but about having a heart that seeks restoration, peace, and unity. She doesn't let bitterness or resentment take root on her heart. Instead, she rises above petty disagreements and cultivates relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and love. Her queenship also transcends her personal life. It touches every area of her influence. Whether she is a mother, a businesswoman, a friend, or a leader in her community, she carries herself with the authority that comes from God's calling on her life. She understands that the queenly role she has been given is not a position of privilege, but one of responsibility. It is her responsibility to make wise decisions, to act with integrity, and to serve those who are entrusted to her care. She does not take her role lightly. Instead, she uses her influence to bring about positive change and to create an environment where others can thrive. Ultimately, a woman whose solitude is with God becomes a queen because she embraces the authority that God has given her. She rules not with an iron fist, but with the wisdom, grace, and compassion that only come from a deep relationship with her Creator. She leads with a servant's heart, serves with love, and uses her influence to bring healing, hope, and transformation to the world around her. Through her solitude with God, she learns that true queenship is not about control or dominance, It is about loving, serving, and leading others with humility and strength. She is a queen not because of her outward position, but because of the deep, inner transformation that makes her worthy of the crown she wears.